जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय 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 जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम,
जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम ओम। Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Shri 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री 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 राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री 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 राम जय राम जय जय
Voice. Make it mute, mute. Let everybody come. Mute.
From the beginning.
You start, Everybody can see, They should see. They should hear. They should hear.
They should hear.
They will hear. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Yesterday when we were going through the boats, the last one was Kolkata. And the theme was revering the saints. So today we will start with revering the saints, which has come out in the form of a bhajan, rendered by Swami Tejomayanji. They must hear. Volume.
100%. After the bhajan starts, it will.
Gurudeva Tava mahaneeya Kripa Gurudeva Tava mahaneeya Kripa Meri Deva Tava अवलंबन है मेरे भल है। अज्ञान भरे संशय से भरे विपरीत विचारों से भरे। विपरीत विचारों अंधकार दूर करे। दूर करे वचनामृत से महनीय कृपा। दूर करे भजनामृत से योद कृपा। महनीय गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा। पद पद जीवन पद रक्षक पल पल पद 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 मेरी रक्षक। पल पग पग जीवन पद पद मेरे साथ मेरे। आनंदमयी महनीय कृपा। आनंदमयी महनीय कृपा। महनीय कृपा। गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा। मन का अवलंबन है मेरा फल है। When we hear such bhajans, the maximum benefit can be eked out only when we try to bring our spiritual preceptor before our mind, and then we realize how he has been holding our hand and leading us. In spite of our indifference, in spite of our disconnect, neglect, if we can bring those dimension also along with this is what it touches and kindles. Even when we were not showing any signs towards the Almighty or the Guru or our love towards all, He still did not leave us. With unbounded love, imperceptibly, He has been guiding us. Even when He was not tom-tomming that He was guiding us. So every word of this, it's a beautiful composition. You are my Bala. Even my every step, you have been with me. So we try, otherwise, what happens? We are carried away by the raga or the tala or the artist. But now when our Guru facilitates us to remember the impersonal aspect of the Guru, how he has been trying to guide us, then the benefit of this, hearing the bhajan, we will be fully making use of it. That is why we must have heard a lot of bhajans. But some bhajans stick to our mind. Why it is that? Initially probably the raga may be there. Initially the tala may be there. Initially the person who renders is touched and kindled. But later on when we try to go through the lyrics, that lyrics connects us with the indwelling reality, the Guru or the deity. Many such bhajans, We still remember when we were having this 1 week program in Anand. Anand is in between Baroda and Ahmedabad. Big gathering, 1 week. Sundar was with us. Suddenly we remembered, jaga, daata. So we told Sundar, you must get the lyrics. Because the lyrics, it is all pervading, jaga, daata. That very word, vishwa, vidhata. Because we have heard Papa's words, great provider, great provider. He who has trust in him is never lost. So the great provider is directly translated as vidhata, vishwa, vidhata. And the tune, of course. Later on, Sundar said, he heard this first from the person who accompanies Rangapai's group, Last year also he came, then we requested him to sing the same song. So he said, it was from him only I heard this. He jaga, daata, vishwa, vidhata. He jaga, daata, vishwa, vidhata, ye sukha, shanti, Niketan. And he says, pran sakha, So when we go through the meaning also, so he has been with me, prana sakha. There also the avalambana hai, even ke avalambana hai. Jagadashreya, Jagapati, Jagavandana, Anupama. Alaga Niranjana.
Jagadata. Venama. Hey Jagadata.
We can see. Haripadu.
That same Rangappa is.
Oh.
Just take this. Shall I go forward?
Shanti. Sukha shanti Niketan. Ananta Anadi Nitya Akhanda Sanatana Pati jaga ye sukha shanti Niketan. The nirguna aspect, has been beautifully brought out, but at the same time, the sahitya, the lyrics, as well as the tune renders the devotional aspect. That is why we don't feel the dryness. Though it is purely, what has been portrayed is the nirguna nirakara shashwata ananda swarup, abstract. But it has been presented in such a way that it does not give us the dryness, but we feel, pranasakha. And even then, the composer was not satisfied by all these adjectives. Anupama alaga niranjana. Each one is pregnant with so many profound ideas, thoughts. Beautiful. So why we remember all these things, the bhajan has got its own relevance in our spiritual journey. Because that is the one which blends the jnana and the bhakti. So we started with Guru Vandanam. We were remembering Papa's, what touched Papa the moment he saw, when he went to Dakshineshwar, when he saw the room occupied by Bhagavan, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He couldn't contain himself, he was just rolling. So that was what was portrayed in the renderings here. So that's why we remembered all these things. And as we were entering, this was the song that we heard, It was so fitting. Kolkata. Crisscrossing the country from down south to far north, Papa was often led to the noble company of saintly souls. These precious satsangs, often held near sacred shrines, shed radiant light on his spiritual path. Revering the saints, he was touched by their values and ideals they kindled in the humanity. Papa's words are, butter comes after churning. Similarly, after struggle comes repose. Darkest night is succeeded by the bright day, so do not despair. Look within for the dawn of divine light and freedom. For this, satsang is beneficial. We ourselves have seen now, what a positive emotion, positive vibration it has kindled, Especially when it is rendered with the devotional fervor. So we were telling about the Anand, So because the whole audience were fully, highly devoted. We were taking up only in quest of God at that time. Suddenly it struck to us. We had heard this when Sundar sang. And we told him, he said, I don't have it, get it. And he telephoned, then he got it. And then he sang there. So how God has been taking care of Papa, Ram has been taking care of Papa throughout this passage. I think we were making a mention about that. Sukha shanti Niketan. Ye jaga daata, ye vishwa vidhata, ye sukha shanti Niketan hai. So then when we started going deeper and deeper into all these things, this is what Papa has been enjoying it, throughout the life. Right from the moment he left Mangalore, throughout the trip, he was enjoying it, enjoying the company of Ram. Every now and then talking to Ram, every now and then taking him, Ram into task. He was not seeing anybody else, only Ram. Jaga ashraya, jagapati, jagavandana. Every word of the song, bhajan, when we try to link it with the in quest of God, we find it is not a theory, it is not an imagination, it is not a sankalpa, but it was a reality. It was a reality to Papa. It should be a reality to all of us, provided we also fine-tune our life, that he has been with us. All these things, one word that is enough, avalambanam, support, prop, Aadhar. That much for today. Then from there we move to Tharakeshwar. Anybody remembers what happened in Tharakeshwar? Anybody remembers?
When Sadhu Ram, when Sadhu Ram taking more this chapati and
34 puris. not one or two. How, Papa says, how the Maya can become such a powerful one. We cannot even imagine, one person taking 34 puris and with a big jug of water. Tharakeshwar. He was not having any meal. I hope everybody remembers. Papa from Kolkata, he was going to Tharakeshwar, Tarakana. And from there, in one Dharmashala, Bhojanshala. There, the Raja has given, Raja is giving feeding, and it's quite a fixed number of sadhus. So Papa was also one among them. So when the count was taken, they were all let in. Then the count is over. Then one sadhu came. He said, I have not had my food for 2 days. So the manager immediately said, you come in. That made us to think, rules are there, but rules and regulations should not make us inhuman. We should be sensitive to the demands and suffering of the co-creation. So immediately he did not stand upon the rules and regulations, he let him in. And this sadhu, the moment it was served, immediately it disappeared. Again they brought, disappeared. Finally the manager said, bring all the whole vessel. And they keep on serving him. It went on inside just like this. In a trice, that's what Papa mentioned. If you remember that word. Now the sadhu, the latest arrival for the dinner, sitting in front, was observed to have finished his share in less than 2 minutes. He was served again with 4 puris, which also disappeared in a trice. Again 4 more. They met with the same fate. The sadhu was looking up for more. At this juncture, the old friend ordered the cook to fetch out the whole stock of puris from the kitchen. Then he approached the sadhu, Maharaj, you may take as many as you like. He served 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and on, until he counted 20. Still the sadhu would not stop. 4 more, and the friend stopped, assuring the sadhu that he shall have some more after finishing those already served. At this stage, the attention of all sadhus was directed toward this voracious eater. All commenced to watch his eating process. But for himself, the sadhu was calm, determined. Puri after puri disappeared. It mattered not for him what was going on around him. At every 4 or 5 puris, he was drinking water out of a big brass pot he had by his side. Most of the sadhus present there could not eat more than 4 each. The record with some did not exceed 6 puris. But the phenomenal sadhu had been served in all 34 puris. He was also served more bhaaji or curry and sweets. He ate them all with 1 pot full of water into the bargain. The affair is narrated here not out of any disrespect to the sadhu, but to appraise the reader of the case of a man who had a tremendous appetite, showing forth the wonderful Maya of Ram. So here, the quotation, first we will read out the notes. Throughout his journey, he would meet people from all walks of life. From those who follow the rules in letter and spirit, to those who live precariously without much care about rules and conventions. For him, nobody is to be feared or frowned upon, and no deed was considered as weird or unbecoming. Papa says, spiritual progress is a wonderful quotation. Spiritual progress does not mean development only in one aspect of a human being. His emotional, intellectual, and dynamic nature should evolve simultaneously. Emotional and intellectual, both. Head and the heart. Development of the head and the heart. Head stands for the intellectual side, heart stands for the emotional side. So Papa says there should be a comprehensive development. When we are following various sorts of discipline under the banner of spiritual journey or spiritual practices, probably we would have labeled certain things as desirable, certain things as non-desirable. But all the time, Papa, these words will come back to us, whether the head and heart goes along with it. Not merely the head, not merely the heart. To run an organization, we need some strictures, some rules, some regulations. At the same time, we should be human. According to the rules, 2 or 3 puris or 4 puris will be given. But when there was a need expressed by somebody, the manager did not shout at him nor deny him. Immediately the humaneness in him, not merely the rules. Intellect says, no, we cannot give that. How can we give to so many people so many things? If they keep on asking us, how can we give? All these are intellectuals. And right, valid. But there may be some exceptions where the humaneness also should be there. Here is a person who has not had his food and must be having a tremendous appetite. And he was innocent, That is why he was frank enough to say that. And he did not bother. When so many people are sitting, if I take more, what will they think about me? They will mock at me. But that innocence was there, which the manager was able to recognize. So the head and the heart. So spiritual progress does not mean development only in one aspect of a human being. His emotional, intellectual, and dynamic nature should evolve simultaneously. So when we pass through Tharakeshwar, the point that comes to our mind is this: a comprehensive development, not a one-sided development. Head and heart, intellectual, emotional, and physical, dynamic. In that small incident, all these things have been conveyed, So Tharakeshwar, I feel that everybody will remember. Papa specifically mentioned about that particular incident in detail, minutest detail, so that it is not that the voracious eater, sadhu, comes before us, but the principle behind it, what it touches and kindles in us is that one should have this comprehensive development. If you are a spiritual aspirant, we should know that not merely this discipline or that discipline. It should simultaneously evolve. His emotional, intellectual, and dynamic nature should evolve simultaneously. Be highly creative, at the same time be humane,
Swamiji,
Ah.
in this book, In Quest of God, Papa has reiterated his point in more than one place, more than once he has done. Like, the kind policeman also tells that you should not listen to the dictates of you should listen to the dictates of the conscience.
Correct.
And not just the rules and regulations.
Correct.
Here again, there is equivalence.
Correct.
So in more than one place, Papa repeats the same thing.
Yeah.
So that we understand.
Yeah. through these two incidents, it becomes very, very clear to us. So when we deal with men and matters, when we claim ourselves to be a spiritual aspirant or a sadhaka or a follower of Beloved Papa or a spiritual child of Beloved Papa, this should come back to us. And then we look back to our own life where many such incidents when God made us to pass through, whether we were able to live up to that. If not, hereafter we will try to live up to that. If we had viewed it only from the individual angle, our rights and wrongs predominate, not this intellectual, emotional, dynamic nature come. Our rights and wrongs, our preferences and priorities, our likes and dislikes, they predominate. But now we understand through these words that when you are claiming, just like yesterday or day before yesterday we shared, the Swami Ranganathanji, while explaining about the 12th chapter, beautifully before he starts the commentary on Adveshta Sarvabhutanam, before the Lord lists out what are the qualifications of a devotee, in that note, Ranganathan Swami Maharaj said, it is not that we keep on tom-tomming that I am his devotee. The Lord should say that he is my devotee. If the Lord has to say that he is my devotee, I must measure up to this. That is why in all these 7 or 8 slokas, he ends it with Adveshta Sarvabhutanam Maitra Karuna Evaja Nirmamo Nirahankara Samadukka Suvakshami Santushta Satatam Yogi Yatatma Dridanishcheha Mayarpida Manobuddhihi Yomad Bhakta Samepriya. Such a devotee is dear to me. So I should measure up. I should qualify myself to become his devotee. So when God meets out the test before me, I should pass the test. Then only I become his devotee. Similarly, here also, Papa is portraying before us 2 scenes where from the normal norms we find ordinary individuals who does not tom-tom that they are devotees or sadhakas, even at the risk of losing their job, they did not compromise on this. Humaneness. They were prepared to go beyond the rules and regulations, which are the products of the head. That is needed for any organization. Papa had beautifully mentioned in the vision of God about Mataji's behavior, how after this ashram came into being, when somebody was stealthily taking this coconut, the watchman caught hold of, and then early morning was brought before Mataji. Mataji immediately asked, has he had his food? Then lovingly told him, if you had asked, we would have given, Then he, not only that she gave the coconut, they have something more, and then sent them away. In Gospel, I think. So whether we can apply the same thing at all times, our intellect will start questioning. How can we run an organization? This is what the intellect does, It is there generally, okay. But it should not bind us. We should become humane. To Mataji, everybody was a child. So there is no question of branding them, labeling them as stiff. Immature act, that's all. All these things are touched and kindled in us by these words. Spiritual progress does not mean development only in one aspect of a human being. His emotional, intellectual, and dynamic nature should evolve simultaneously. And from there we move to Gaya, Kashi and Ayodhya. Have you forgotten the rest of the boards? Why not we? Eh?
No, we are not forgotten.
a few of the points, can we go through?
Swamiji,
Ah,
Calcutta and Dakshineshwar chapterல
ah,
இதே மாதிரி ரூல்ஸ் பத்தி பப்பா வந்து அப்படியே ஓப்பனா சொல்லியிருக்காரு.
ah.
ஓ ராம், நோ ரூல்ஸ் அண்ட் நோ ரெகுலேஷன்ஸ் ஆர் பைண்டிங் அப்பான் தை பக்தாஸ்.
Mm. Correct.
காளியோட பிரசாத்
Yeah, yeah.
டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணும்போது அவங்க டெம்பிள்ல வந்து தங்கறதுக்கு பர்மிஷன் கேட்பாங்க பப்பாவும் இன்னொரு சாதுவும். அதுக்கு வந்து டெம்பிள்ல நைட்ல தங்கறதுக்கு ரூல்ஸ் இல்லை அப்படின்னு பேசும்போதும் பப்பா அது சொல்வாரு. அதுக்கப்புறம் அவங்கள அலோ பண்ணுவாங்க நைட்ல தங்கறதுக்கு 1 night.
Correct. Mm. We are trying to understand, for us, let us not get stuck with the incident. That incident conveys something for us, for our own sadhana. That is more important. Papa wrote that In Quest of God with that perspective. The reader also should get, inspired to feel the presence of God throughout. Because we are not full-time devotees, there are many gaps in our life where the me and mind dominates, and of course, we try to often remember him, remember his relevance in our life. Ultimately, we should know that our aim is to feel his presence throughout. The remembrance should be throughout. That is what is highlighted in all the chapters. That should not be forgotten. So that we don't get stuck with the incidents, we get every incident adds a push. Yes, now we have 10 minutes time. Why not we try for a recap?
Swamiji.
Ah.
Swamiji.
Ah.
It starts with inner voice.
Ah.
Before the inner voice, there is intense problems and intense situation that causes him to lose everything. And for anybody, I mean, I'm sorry to use that. For everybody, a situation comes when we start praying intensely. Then we hear the inner voice. That inner voice makes us leave everything and withdraw from the things and have vairagya. And then we move ahead.
Yes, yes.
Move ahead the spiritual level. Then we learn that sannyas is not just a ochre cloth, or it is just expanding ourselves from individual to universal. And then we start seeing Master, our guide and Guru, Master's hand in taking us from point to point. In the process, we develop not to react impulsively, not to react first, not react impulsively, adapt to all situations, and take, positive things, take everything in a positive stride and also accept everything, whether it is, it's up to our expectations or not. Everything is accepted as God's will. I don't know whether I'm right, but I think these are all the sequences.
Yes, you are all right. When we have covered about 13, 14 boats, just like when we heard Hey Jaga, Daata, or when we heard Gurudeva Tava, something touched and kindled in us. Similarly, when we think about IQG and the boats, even today morning, we were going around the ashram. We thought again we will display the boats. Some are little damaged.
Boats should be there permanently, Swami.
But there should be a place, So today we have located a place where these 40 boats will be again displayed for the 4 or 5 days or 7 days. So that again and again many people have taken photographs. We remember when we were in our tour, wherever we happen to go through this intensely, immediately after the program they will come and ask, can you please give us the soft copy? Because it is so arresting, arousing. It contains the what do you call it, in a miniature form, the whole of a spiritual journey. So as you said, the first thing that comes to our mind is the inner voice. There we get halted. Because we have been doing Ram Nam for so many decades, still we have not had the pleasure of hearing his voice. In 2 years' time, when Papa's whole spiritual journey started, when he cried, he heard the voice. So when we start thinking about it, previously we were going through. Then we came to know that hearing the voice alone makes us feel that he is within. Until such time, God is a concept, an outside reality. Even when we say Papa, 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 or God, or Ram, it's still a distant entity other than me. But the moment we hear his words, then it can't come from anywhere else. It can come only from within. That is the first indication of our becoming aware of his presence within. And the moment we get that glimpse, that he is within, then it becomes very easy. The struggle has been so far in every sadhak's life is that God is still a distant reality. Initially in the temples and deities, in the ashrams, in the Mahatmas, and though we come back, we are separate. And then we always feel he is away, he is away, he is away. And our struggle is to move closer, closer, closer. But here is one word, he says, the voice was heard. It was the voice of Ram. These are Papa's words. So then now we are pining, we are praying intensely to him. Why don't you give me that glimpse? Okay, I have not done the preparatory work, so you may not be able to make me aware of your presence for a longer time. But why don't you please give me a glimpse of your presence? So that will make me aware that you are within. Otherwise, Shastras say, Gurus say, all these people say God is within. It is only a statement for me, bluntly. He is not a reality to me. So when you say about inner voice, that immediately opens up this clarity. So we all now intensely pray, why don't you please make me aware of your things through, even if it is for a split second, And when we do that, we will get the answer.
Swami,
more
than the boards, now that you are explaining even the boards to us, really honestly, even the boards did not make sense to me. I couldn't see. There was a disconnect between the passing and the Papa's quotation that you have put. So now it is making sense to me. Now it is like a ready reckoner to me.
Correct. He throws the light, he throws the light. Then you were talking about Vairagya. Instead of giving a what do you call it, impractical theory, we try to understand now. It is not that Vairagya we want to create. When we become more and more devoted to Him, when the God thought occupies my mind, my attraction toward the sense objects will become less and less automatically. Because every time you are thinking about the Mahima, the glory of the Mahatma, glory of the deity, glory of the what all he has given, like that when we keep on, we are occupying the mental space as much as possible for him and for his attributes. To that extent, the space which was once occupied. He says in the first chapter, during the day when chaos and anxieties were besetting him due to monetary and other troubles, Ram was coming to his aid in an unexpected way. So whenever free from worldly duties, be the period ever so small, he would meditate on Ram and utter his name. When we read this, we just pause for a moment. What do? We try to be in the problem, because that occupies the entire mind space. And the mind has got justification for it. But here, because he heard, immediately, in one, the hearing of his voice has got a cascading effect, because then your life has not been actuated by you. You have been sent to this world by him. He knows what is to be done at what time and what not to be done. All those things, slowly raise one by one. So whenever free from worldly duties, be the period ever so small, he would meditate on Ram and utter his name. We pause for a moment. What do? We are subjected to go through stressful period. That stressful situation occupies our whole mind. Whereas God is making us to go through that for reasons known to him. In his case, Papa's case, not only that the voice said, trust me, despair not, trust me, thou shalt be free. That word trust. So when he started trusting him more and more, attraction toward the rest of the things became less and less, which we name it as Vairagya. Similarly, each and everything is giving us a new meaning now. As you rightly said, even sannyas, it is not merely the ochre robe. It is not merely the rites and rituals. It is not merely the tradition. That it's a simple way of Papa's answering, from the individual to the universal. I am what I am because of the factors other than me. That simple factor make me to move from the individual to the universal. Everything that I put a list, air, water, space, fire or heat, anything, sun, vegetables, creature comforts, I have not done anything. When I know that I am the recipient, I am the beneficiary of the entire thing through Mother Nature and society, that means I am moving a step from the individual to the universal. But there should be some symbolic act by which we try to remind ourselves, and so the changing of ochre robe, changing of name, all those things preceded. Now we get a clear-cut meaning about sannyas. Not to be tied down to the usual way of thinking. from the individual to the universal. And Papa amplified it with a simple word that previously he was identifying with a small family, now he is identifying with the whole creation in which the small family is also there. So it is not renunciation but expansion. This is the word he used. So sannyas stands for transition from the individual level to universal level. Like that, all these 40 boards, they keep on reminding us, be optimistic, be positive, like that, signature of the master everywhere. He has got a master plan. All these words, when we keep on, it is a ready reckoner for our daily life. We would even name it as, it is the daily reckoner, daily, it's a manual. So Jhansi, next one, we will try to go tomorrow, because again, we will go slowly. We are not in a hurry to finish this. We will go slowly, recap, and see how he tries to get it stamped in our heart. He is a teacher who does not bother much about portions to be covered. He is very much bothered that the students should get the theme inside. Repetitive efforts. Again and again and again and again. And everywhere, every now and then we find it is not the same thing that is churred again. Something new also comes. So with that bhavana, we will go through it again and again and again. And let us see what.
Much grateful. All my gratefulness to the teacher and the preceptor also. Thank you, Swami.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om to everybody. Pranam, pranam, pranam.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Namaskaram. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Pranam.
Pranam, Swarada, please.
Will you forward these songs to us?
Definitely.
Huh?
Yeah,
Please.
definitely.
Vishwa, vidhata.
Yeah.